Akan ku pinangimu, akan ku rangkulkanmu. Bersama kita berpimpin tangan, bermimpi bukan semuanya kebenaran yang ku inginkan.
Hi and greeting everyone. Welcome to the 4th ILSA's International Virtual Conference on Learning and Development, Iclad 2020. Special for Iclad 2020 participants, every afternoon we have a coffee talk session with an inspiring person who will share their stories, experience, insights and aspiration. By the way, my name is Bibi Hazrina, and today with me is a very special person who has been involved in two very different industries. I would like to welcome to the studio Mut Rafiq.
Thank you. Very happy to be here. Thanks for inviting me.
Okay, so thank you for accepting our offer to be on the coffee talk session.
Yes.
We are very happy and we are delighted that we get this opportunity to listen from someone who has been from two different industries. It's very rare for that to happen. So hopefully today listeners will be getting a lot of insights and learning experience for them to apply in their daily life. Okay, so I think the first question. Okay, tell us about Mut Rafiq.
Oh, okay. Wow, that's a very broad question right there. This could go on and on, but I'll try to keep it short and sweet. Okay, my full name is Syed Muhammad Abdullah. Okay, I've been with Rafiq for roughly about 20 years now. Okay, and we've been in the industry for about that time as well, a bit longer. And I think I'm very happy to have made a mark in the entertainment industry, but at the same time, before I had aspirations to be an artist in the first place, I was hell-bent on being an architect first. Because my father was an architect, my mother was an architect as well. She had a diploma in architecture, and so I was quite inspired by the both of them. But I think the defining moment for me was when my father brought back the blueprints of Masjid Al-Azim, which is the Al-Azim Mosque, the Masjid Negeri Melaka, right? And I saw the drawing and I was very impressed. So I took a piece of paper, a blank piece of paper. I took my pencil, my pen, and I drew the whole thing. And when it was done, my father was quite surprised because at that point I was just 7 years old. And I did it to quite a precision that he was impressed with. So that was when he asked me, "What do you want to be when you grow up?" And I said, I want to do this. What's this? And I said, I'm an architect. This is what architects do. So that was the defining moment for me. Yeah. In terms of my entertainment life, okay, it's funny that it started out I've always been inclined in the arts. Okay, it's quite evident in my passion for drawing, as well as singing from at a young age. I went for tours. My family is quite well traveled, so at one point we went to the United States. I went to Hollywood. I went to the Hollywood Bowl. And I stood up there, I sang a song at the Hollywood Bowl. Of course, nobody was actually watching, but somehow I probably got the aura from there. So I was singing for the tour group, and after that I went to singing competitions at school level and so on and so forth. But what kind of cemented my interest in singing was during my college years. I had a girlfriend who studied in the States. So I was thinking of a way to make money at that point. And trust me, budding artists don't make a lot of money at all. but it was a start to something. It was a start to my my actual interest in music, and actually making music, and also singing as a group. Okay, and that's how it started. It started out because I wanted to make that extra cash, and one thing led to another. I somehow met Rafej, and I sparred with them actually. I sparred with them for a concert. It was a law ball in UKM, and I had my group, and they were there, and we were vying for that one spot that they had. So we had to, compete with each other. But apparently, at the end of the day, they decided that both had our merits, so they gave the slot to both of us. And we performed, and after that, Rafej courted me.
Okay, for those who are born in the 90s, I just want you to know that Rafej is like one of the legendary group ever, back in the 90s and the early 2000-ish. So go on YouTube and check out their songs, okay? Okay, so you found your calling to become an architect when you were 7 years old.
That's right.
And maybe during your high school, you also developed the passion to sing. But how do you actually decide? These are two different things. Like, a lot of people don't see these two industries, mixing together, because architecture is probably seen as something that is serious. You have to study hard. You have to achieve a certain level of, good academic performance. And on the other industry, which is on the singing and the entertainment, requires a different, different personalities and skills. So how did you manage to juggle these two different?
Okay, on the contrary, I think architecture has a lot to do with the arts, because as you know, architecture is the result of marrying art and science. So because to actually build and design buildings and so forth, you need to have both the acumen of both artistry and also scientific knowledge. So these two are actually the main components in architecture. And as I said, there's the artistic side of being an architect. It's quite relatable to the entertainment industry. And to me, it's just like creating, composing songs is akin to composing drawings, composing ideas of buildings in your mind. They both require a high level of creativity, and they both require a high level of commitment to ensure that it is being built or it is being produced the way you want them to be. So they are very, very relatable actually.
Okay. So I can see probably you have been inspired in doing architecture from your experience in singing, and probably vice versa. Yeah? So hey, interesting. Okay, I have this one question because honestly, I don't have many architect friends.
Okay.
Most of them are like technical people from the.
Please make it an easy one.
Okay, sure. Okay. How technical is being an architect? I mean, does it involve a lot of mathematical formulas or calculation?
Okay. All right. That's a good question. However, it differs from syllabus to syllabus, because certain universities place more importance in the technical aspect of architecture. Certain universities, they place an emphasis on the artistic part of architecture because they say that you know, you can learn all the technical stuff when you work. You know, because the important thing is the imagination, the creativity. That's what the world sorely lacks in. You know, so it depends. However, if you ask me about a well-balanced syllabus in a well-balanced education setting, I think it could be quite technical. It involves a lot of sound understanding of structure. It involves a lot of understanding in building science. You know, the sustainability of building components and building systems. It involves a lot of understanding of you know, force, how force works. You know,
all the physics that you
all the
learn
physics,
in Form 5 or Form 4.
yes, you would need that at some point in your journey as an architect. However, once you work, that load is being taken care of by engineers.
Okay.
Okay. The sustainability part it has a lot to do with us still, but in terms of the structural soundness and so forth, you know, we still know certain rules and certain systems that kind of define what a sound building should be, you know, but in terms of the calculation, in terms of the liability to make it stand, to make it not, you know, collapse and things like that, will go to the engineer.
Ah, okay, that's interesting. That's something I learned today. So I would say architects are like the right brain, the one who thinks about design, you know, the beauty and the aesthetic looks of buildings, and engineers are the one who ensure it is safe to build.
Yes. But I would say architects are actually well versed with both their cognitive.
Because you need to have that basic understanding.
That's right.
You cannot simply design something that will not work or
That's
is
true.
not feasible to
That's
build,
true.
right?
That's true. Yes.
Yeah. So perhaps paper qualification is important if you are starting in the working life. What about lifelong learning? How do you maintain the momentum of learning? You know, okay, you go to universities, you get a paper qualification, you probably get a degree or a diploma, but maybe in your personal life, how do you manage to sustain that learning mojo or learning motivation to, you know, keep on improving yourself?
Okay. All right. I think that's a good question because to have that kind of motivation, you need to have a certain insight about things. So it's the insight is what drives you. You know, so to get that insight is not easy, and it depends on the person. But for me, I look at going further. I look at being able to be a better architect than I am now. So it's a good thing that Lembaga Arkitek Malaysia and Pertubuhan Arkitek Malaysia, they've already looked into the matter, and they've already set certain what do you call credit system whereby they would organize, you know, seminars, talks, you know, courses, and we would have to go and attain certain number of points to renew our membership. So that is forced learning. However, you know, it's good. It's a good thing. You know, I think it kind of helps us, drives us and pushes in the right direction. However, if we are not being pushed to do that, I think we should still, you know, try to improve our knowledge. What we know is who we are. You know? And currently, in fact, I'm actually sitting for the Lembaga Arkitek Malaysia Part 3 Professional Practice Examination. And I am also, in fact, yesterday, enrolled in an MIT online course for site planning.
So you'll be like a MIT graduate.
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, it's fun. It's fun. I mean, learning is fun. We just forgot that it's fun because when we were children, it's actually something that we do every single day. And if you notice, toddlers, it's really hard to actually get them to sleep because they are so engrossed with learning, seeing new things, picking up new things. They're like a sponge which absorbs everything that comes in their path. So we've only forgotten that. So it's good that we find it in ourselves to have that certain insight to drive us, to push us to, improve ourselves knowledge-wise.
Okay. One thing I'm wondering, what is the motivation for you for Rafej to put up an album out there when the market is not that, market is not really that great. The industry has changed, and I think most of Rafej's members are already established, already have perhaps careers outside of singing industry. So what actually prompts the group to still do music? What's the motivation that drives you guys?
We are driven by something that we cannot get anywhere else, which is harmonizing. You cannot get harmonizing anywhere else. You just can't. I can sing. Each and every one of us can be solo artists if we want to. But there's something missing there. Once you're in a group, you tend to appreciate the kind of harmonizing, the kind of the quality that comes out of the harmony. It's amazing. It's amazing. It's just that it's being drowned out or it's being diluted by recordings, by recorded, all those things. But if we do it raw for you, you'll understand what we mean. Yeah.
Okay guys, as usual, we'll be having our rapid fire question session. But this time around, we'll be doing it a cappella style, where I'll be singing one line of a song and Mode will have to continue the song. But this time around, we want your participation too. Once Mode finishes singing, we want you to continue with a recording of your own singing and send it to the number below. Please ensure the recording is between 20 to 30 seconds long so that we can hear your beautiful voice. Cause all of me loves all of you.
Love your curves and all your edges, all your perfect imperfections. Give your all to me, I give my all to you. You're my end and my beginning. Even when I lose, I'm winning. And I give you all of me.
Hayalan menjelma ketika fikiran
melayang menjauh mengenangkanmu. Wajahmu terbayang mengukir senyuman yang penuh dengan kepahitan aku.
Although it goes till the end of the road,
Still I can't let go. It's unnatural. You belong to me, I belong to you. Although we've come to the end of the road, still I can't let go.
Lemasku dalam dakapanmu.
Tidak kusangka kau begitu, inikah lumrah orang bercinta. Tiada ruang nafasnya lemasku dalam peluk kamu. Tidak ku perlu kau begitu, inikah artinya bercinta. Berikan ruang agar ku selesa.
Cantik menarik tertarik kau memang the bomb.
Cantik menarik tertarik kau memang the bomb. Cantik menarik tertarik kau memang the bomb. Cantik menarik tertarik kau memang the bomb. Yeah.
Okay, Mood. How do you describe yourself? A full-time architect, part-time singer, or a full-time singer, part-time architect?
That's a tough question.
Full-time both.
Okay. Actually, now I find that you know, both industries kind of intertwine. You know, in a sense that sometimes, you know, when I'm chasing for clients for their fees, you know,
Okay.
and some of them will recognize me, you know, and they make it a lot easier.
Of being famous.
So to me, it's really hard to define that, you know. I've always considered myself to be an architect first, because I started on that journey earlier, you see. But at the same time, I'm really happy, you know, singing. I'm really happy with the group. And to me, I've got two dream jobs.
Okay.
You know, and I can't be thankful enough for that. So to put one over the other in terms of the precedence, I think it would not be unfair to the profession, and it would not be unfair to me as well.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay,
so-
all right. Okay, but maybe because you have been doing it for so long, you have been doing it for 20 years, so now it becomes second nature to you, you know, like you can juggle both professions very well. But maybe we can go back to maybe 15 years ago when, you know, when you just started out, you know, you just came out of university, you are starting out as an architect, but at the same time you have to maintain your singing career. So, do you see yourself, you know, using different intelligence to manage these two professions? You know, because perhaps maybe when you're singing, you're using your musical intelligence, and when you're doing your architecture work, you're probably using your technical skills and knowledge.
I wouldn't necessarily say that the enhancement of education would come from particularly music and architecture, but from my experience, you know, when you have a lot on your plate, you know, somehow you will manage time better.
Okay.
You know, because I have at one point, you know, at one point I had 5 subjects in uni, and at the other point I had 2 subjects. I found that when I have 5 subjects, I perform better. Because when I had 2 subjects that semester, you know, you slack off. so actually, contrary to popular belief, juggling a few things at once can make you manage your time better.
Okay.
And it has held true for me, at least in that respect. You know? But if we are talking about purely, you know, music and architecture as in its pure form, I think music is very helpful in terms of, you know, creating or producing the oxytocin I need when I'm stressed.
Okay,
You know?
alright.
Because any architecture student would tell you this, and they would tell you this definitely, that we stay up all night, you know. we stay up all night, building models.
Okay.
We would stay up all night, making drawings, drafting, and so on and so forth. So it's a very tiring and it's a very stressful line of course that we have to go through. So music is our lifeline actually. You'll see, you'll hear, sounds of all sorts of music coming from the studio. So that is our lifeline. Basically, we thrive on that because we can't do anything else. Visually, we can't actually engage with anything visually. So our auditory input is our only means of escape.
The stress buster.
That's right. That's right.
But I know a lot of people who gets inspired by listening to music, who use music to bring relief to all the pressure and stress that they feel in life. So I agree with you. Music is actually a very good stress buster.
Yes, and it is also a driver for creativity.
Yeah.
And creativity is always needed in architecture. Yeah. Okay, I remember a time when I was an architecture student and we had a show in Singapore, you see, and I had to present my model and my concept on Monday, and it was a Saturday, I believe. It was a Saturday, and I stayed up all night, cutting my model and so forth. At 6 o'clock, I stopped. At 6 o'clock in the morning on Sunday.
All right.
Okay, I stopped. I took a shower. I got ready. I went in my car. I drove all the way to Singapore.
From KL?
From KL.
Ooh,
yes.
Okay.
And there, I performed. I performed. And soon after I finished, the guy said, "Hey, let's have a rest lah. You came here all the way from KL, So okay, I tried to rest for half an hour, but I can't because in my mind, I haven't done this. Oh my God, I haven't done this. What am I supposed to present tomorrow? So I was like, guys, I cannot. I have to go back. So I went back in my car. I drove back all the way to KL, and I continued cutting my models and doing my perspectives. And the next day, I presented without sleeping.
Okay.
So basically, the point of the matter is that's how much music drives me.
Okay.
That's how much music drives me, and I think it's a very important driver for me to elevate myself, and I think it has helped me a lot in terms of my pursuit for my architecture degree. And even when I was there in Australia, I performed at competitions, and I even got a single released in the Australian airwaves. So for me at least, it is a very constructive force of nature, music. Yeah, and I wouldn't have it any other way.
And you just cannot, I think the music in you will always remain in you. It's just something that you cannot take away from who Mood is lah, deep inside. Okay.
That's true.
Okay, let's talk about the conference for this year. So Iclad's 2020 conference theme is on intelligence, the art of learning. How do you see the future generation? What kind of intelligence do they need to survive in the future world? Nowadays it's not the same like last time. If you go to university, you get a degree, or you get you have a good education, you can get somewhere. But kids nowadays, they probably have a different version, a vision of the future, with all the social media coming up, so they have a different exposure compared to us back then. So how do you see the future generation apply intelligence in their life?
Okay, well, I think in a broad sense of word, intelligence in a sense that we understand it, okay, is very broadly, what do you call,
It has a broad definition.
no, it's not that it has a broad definition, but it's broadly overrated.
Okay.
I would say it's broadly overrated. You know, but there are a lot of types of intelligence that are more important for us to look into, which is one of which is emotional quotient. To me, is EQ. That is very important in this day and age, because I see a lot of people losing that ability to have a good demeanor, you know, to respect others, to be well mannered, to have soft skills. This type of intelligence is just as important as the rest. You know, you've got simple people living the simple lives, but they respect each other. You know, they understand the value of company, and they understand the value of each other's relationship. You know, it would be a very nice world even without all the technology. You know, so I think it's very, very important that we cultivate this sort of understanding of intelligence to the younger generation, you know, so that it will go hand in hand with the other types of intelligence.
Yeah, and I think that intelligence is something that you can acquire if you put effort into it. And yeah, I agree with you that actually it goes beyond academic intelligence or just being smart in taking exams. It goes beyond that, and actually goes back to who you are inside and who you are when you play your role in the community.
That's right.
Yeah. Okay, I think we are nearing the end of our session.
Oh.
But okay, final words from Mood Rafiq.
Final words, huh? All right. I know a lot of people say, follow your passion, you know. In some extent, it's true, okay, but you have to follow it with an informed decision. You know, you need to know what you're getting into. Okay. As for myself, I was exposed with the arts at a very young age. You know, so I knew what I wanted from the very beginning, and I pursued it all the way through. Okay, and at the same time, I was also interested in another, field in the artistic, matrix. So I pursued that as well. You know, but in order for you to pursue two things at once, you would really know what you're getting into. You would really know the subject matter at hand. You would really know what you want in life. Then, once you know that, you know, go all the way. You won't regret it. Right?
Okay. So thank you very much, Mood, for being with us today. I hope the audience enjoyed that and you learned a lot of things. And well, continue with the rest of Iclad's event, and see you again in the future session.
See you.
Bye.